Our structured journey begins with the 2-day Executive Advanced Planning Workshop. To kick things off, we begin with an introduction to SLEGO Industries. Let's take a look.
Rob had talked to me about SLEGO 1 and SLEGO 2, and I had no idea what he was talking about. And to come here and experience it was really an epiphany. I could finally see a way out of all the dysfunction and all the chaos.
You called us firefighters. I know from my previous company that I started and ran successfully for 8.5 years, it could have been wildly more successful had we stopped spending all of our time putting out fires and trying to get to the next deal. Really, I wish I could go back and restart my whole company.
We got to actually not just get more information about how our business could improve and change, we actually got to participate in designing what our business could become. And so our vision greatly expanded. In fact, I came away from that event having a hard time sleeping at night, thinking about all of what our business could become.
Next, I'd like to cover 2 examples of other activities we do in the EAP, one of which is called establishing market channels and share. You might want to buckle your seatbelt as we take a look by taking a ride on the world's fastest business jet. The first thing we do as a team is establish the different types of customers, and we call those market channels. Each one of those types or sets of customers has their own different needs, desires, key drivers, things that are important to them. So at Cessna, we have 3 different types of customer classifications. One is called traditional flight customers, individual owners, pilots, and so on. Fractional shares is like a timeshare for a jet. And then there's emerging markets, which things are at a ground level of starting to take off. Who are traditional flight customers for the world's fastest business jet? People like Arnold Palmer. You might recognize this football guy, Tom Brady and his wife with their black C-10, and Harrison Ford. At the time of working with this team, there were emerging markets such as one of the 52 Saudi Arabian princes, the Google guys who wanted to go fast everywhere, or within 12 months, these 3 young men going from working out of their garage to selling that company called YouTube for $1 billion. And when it comes to jets, what do they want? They want the world's fastest. Let's take a look at what the team has come up with on the key drivers of each of these market channels. Traditional flight departments, things that are important to them: reliability, mission capability, cost of operation, customization, on-time delivery, and such. And the key drivers for these dot-commers are they want it now. Since every jet is registered with the FAA, Cessna can clearly determine their percent of the market share. Another activity determining metrics and measures. One of my favorite quotes is, "Tell me what you're going to measure, and I'll tell you how I'm going to behave." Measures and metrics drive 3 primary behaviors. 1, positive behavior, 2, negative behavior, and 3, the worst in my opinion, is no behavior. Let's face it, metric to measures across the entire landscape of business are fairly complex and meaningless, and what do we do? What do we measure here, 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 and here? So there's all kinds of measures that are very common for customers: financial growth, internal metrics and measures. One of the critical things that we'll do is establish the high 5 of the key drivers that'll drive the future of our business. And that culminates into the development and implementation of a communication strategy both internally and externally with customers, suppliers, and sometimes even the community. One of my favorites is in Beaver, Pennsylvania, where the team came up with a speed limit sign, delivery speed 5 days or less, and there were dozens all over the manufacturing facility, so every single person knew exactly what their primary goals and objectives were. As 5 days or less would put them as the leader in their entire market. So these are just a few of the key activities in the Executive Advanced Planning Workshop.